ImmutableX, let's do this. You guys sent us their white paper, so that tells me you're serious about NFTs. Like, really serious. Not just, should I buy a Bored Ape? Serious. We're going deeper this time.
Way deeper. We're talking about tech that could completely change how NFTs work.
No kidding. But before we even start, got to put this out there just so everyone's clear.
Uh-huh.
This whole deep dive, it's about understanding ImmutableX. We're not giving financial advice, no stock tips or anything like that.
Nope, this is about giving you the knowledge so you can be an NFT pro. It's your world. We're just explaining it.
I like that. Okay, so if you're looking into ImmutableX, you probably already know NFTs are blowing up. But here's the catch. Ethereum, that's like the main platform for NFTs right now, it's got some issues.
Big time issues. Think of it like trying to stream a movie on dial-up internet. It's just not going to happen smoothly.
Ouch. Yeah, that's rough. And that slowness, it actually affects YU directly. We're talking higher fees just to make a trade, transactions taking forever, and potentially missing out on opportunities.
And it can feel like that sometimes, yeah. Like you said, it's a big problem, and it's why a lot of people still think all this crypto NFT stuff is just too much, too complicated.
Exactly. But look, it's not just everyday users, right? Even the developers, the ones building the cool NFT projects, they're hitting roadblocks too.
Oh, absolutely. Building on Ethereum right now, it's like trying to bake a cake with no recipe, half the ingredients missing, and the oven only works sometimes.
That's brutal. So is that where ImmutableX comes in? Like they're offering the missing ingredients and a working oven?
They're trying to, yeah. The ImmutableX white paper, it actually breaks down Ethereum's problems into four main challenges: scalability, user experience, developer experience, and illiquidity.
Okay, so that's what we're tackling then, right?
Yeah.
Those four challenges. We've already touched on scalability a bit, the whole too much traffic, not enough road thing. But let's talk user experience. Because clunky websites and confusing buttons, that's how you scare people away, not get them excited about NFTs.
100%. Imagine waiting in line for hours to buy your favorite sneakers online. You finally get to the front, you're about to check out, and bam, the site crashes.
Ugh, the worst feeling.
And that's basically what happens on some NFT platforms. Not a good look.
Definitely not. Okay, so we've got scalability, clunky user experience. What about developers?
So remember that API abstraction layer thing we mentioned before? That's part of how they want to make things easier for developers.
Yeah, it sounds kind of technical, though.
It's actually not that bad. Imagine someone gives you a set of pre-built Lego blocks, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to start from scratch. That's kind of what they're doing.
Okay, I can see how that would help. Instead of spending months figuring out the technical stuff, developers can actually focus on the creative side of NFTs.
Exactly.
Love it. All right, what about that last challenge, illiquidity? What's that all about?
So illiquidity basically means it can be really tough to buy or sell an NFT quickly. It's like having, I don't know, a rare comic book. You want to sell it, but finding the right buyer, that takes time.
Okay, so we've got these four big challenges: scalability, user experience, developer headaches, and illiquidity. And this is where ImmutableX swoops in to save the day.
They're trying to, yeah. They want to be the solution to all those Ethereum problems, making NFTs faster, cheaper, easier for everyone.
Ambitious. Okay, so let's say I buy into that. They've identified the problems, but how are they actually going to fix them? The white paper keeps mentioning something called a ZK rollup scaling engine. It sounds intense.
You know, right? It's actually not as complicated as it sounds. Imagine this. You're sending a postcard, right? It's way easier than shipping a giant package. That's kind of what ZK rollups do. ImmutableX can bundle a bunch of transactions, take them off of Ethereum, and then just send one little proof that everything happened.
So instead of clogging up the network with every single NFT trade, it's like, hey, here's a postcard saying it all happened.
Exactly. Faster transactions, lower fees, everyone wins. Remember those gas fees everyone complains about on Ethereum? ImmutableX pretty much gets rid of those for NFT trades.
Okay, yeah, lower fees are always a good thing. But we talked about users having a rough time. What about developers? How does this make their lives easier?
Right, so that API abstraction layer we were talking about before.
Yeah, still sounds a little scary, honestly.
It's really not. Think of it like, okay, imagine you want to build a gingerbread house. You could bake it from scratch, spend hours on all the little details, or you could get one that's already built.
Oh, so it's like they're giving developers a pre-built gingerbread house instead of making them do it all from scratch.
Exactly. They're giving them the tools, the templates, everything they need. That way they can just focus on making cool NFT projects, not wrestling with code.
Okay, that makes way more sense now. So instead of spending months on the technical stuff, they can actually be creative.
Exactly. And that means we could see way more interesting NFT projects because it's easier for people to build them.
It's like they're leveling the playing field, which I like. Okay, but let's be real, most of us, we're not developers. We just want to buy, sell, trade NFTs, and hopefully not pull our hair out in the process. So what's ImmutableX doing for us, the regular users?
This is where those NFT-enabled wallets come in. It's like they're building a bridge between your regular Ethereum wallet and the ImmutableX platform, so everything is just way easier to use.
So no more dealing with those confusing interfaces or anything.
They're trying to get rid of all that. They want to make buying and selling NFTs as easy as shopping online. And speaking of online shopping, imagine if you could buy, like, limited edition sneakers on ANY website, not just one specific store.
Oh, that would be amazing. No more hunting down the one place that has what you want.
Exactly. That's the idea behind ImmutableX's shared liquidity and order book. It's like they're connecting all the different NFT marketplaces. More options, smoother experience. It's better for everyone.
Okay, this is all sounding pretty good so far, I have
Yeah.
to say. But we can't talk about ImmutableX without talking about the IMX token. And I know this is where some people are like, ugh, tokenomics, my brain hurts.
Don't worry, I'll keep it simple.
Yeah, please do, because sometimes this stuff gets way too complicated. So break down for us, what is the IMX token?
Basically, it's what makes the whole ImmutableX ecosystem work. It's like, imagine you're at an arcade. You need tokens to play the games, right?
Okay, so it's like the currency of the ImmutableX arcade. I like that. But what can you do with the IMX tokens?
The white paper talks about three main things: fees, staking, and governance.
Okay, fees, staking, those I kind of get. But you said there were three main uses for the IMX token, right? What's the third one?
Governance. This is where things get interesting.
Okay, hit me with it. Governance. What does that even mean in the NFT world?
It means if you have IMX tokens, you get a say in what ImmutableX does. Like, you can vote on new features or how they should use their money.
Oh, interesting. So it's like having voting rights, but instead of a company, it's for this whole platform.
Exactly. It's
Wow.
all about putting the power in the hands of the community, making sure everyone has a voice. Speaking of important stuff, one thing that really stood out to me in this white paper was how seriously they're taking security.
Yeah, good point. With all the hype around NFTs, you kind of forget about that stuff. What are they doing that's so special?
They're using something called Stark proofs. Sounds technical, but
Yeah, a little bit.
it's actually really cool. Basically, it's like, imagine Fort Knox, right? Super secure. That's what they're using for NFT transactions. They can prove that everything is legit, but without actually showing anyone your private information.
So like an invisible security guard, making sure my NFTs don't get stolen.
Exactly. And it gets even better. Remember we were talking about what happens if ImmutableX just disappears?
Yeah, that would be bad. I don't want my digital stuff just vanishing.
Totally. So they've thought of that. Even if the company goes poof, all the data, everything about your NFTs, it's still safe. They call it data availability. It's like having a backup copy of your most valuable stuff stored somewhere else, just in case.
Okay, that's a relief. I feel better already. Anything else in the white paper that caught your eye?
One more thing. It's a little technical, but it's pretty important for the future of NFTs. They talk about mutable and immutable NFT metadata.
Okay, I think I've heard those words before.
Okay.
Remind me what they mean again.
Okay, so immutable is like, imagine the information on a rare baseball card. It's always the same. You can't change it. That's immutable. But mutable is more like a digital sticker book. You can add stickers, remove them, change them around. It's flexible.
So immutable is for things that need to stay the same, like a piece of art or something. And mutable is for things that can change, like items in a video game.
Exactly. And ImmutableX supports both, which means we could see some really cool stuff. NFTs could be way more than just static images. Imagine game items that change as you play, or digital clothes you can customize however you want.
That's wild. They're really pushing the boundaries here.
They are. They're building the foundation for a future where digital ownership is just as dynamic and complex as the real world, maybe even more so.
Wow, that's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the problems with NFTs right now to how ImmutableX is trying to fix them. They're doing some seriously cool stuff.
Yeah, and it seems like they're in it for the right reasons, too. They're thinking long-term, not just chasing the latest trends.
Which is awesome to see. Who knows what kinds of amazing NFT experiences we'll have a few years down the line, right?
Exactly. What we've talked about today, it's really just the beginning.
Well, on that note, we'll leave you with this. What will you create, trade, or experience in this crazy world of digital ownership? A huge thank you to everyone for joining us for this deep dive into ImmutableX. Until next time, happy exploring.